I would like to call to order the August 21st, 2023 Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Welcome, everyone. If you would please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you would now please join me in a moment of silence, and we want to especially remember a very tragic event in our community where 3 young people were killed in a fire over the weekend, so let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Okay, first item is the approval of the meeting agenda. You all have a copy of that before you. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda, including the changes on page 4?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move now to recognitions and presentations. First up, from Active Living in Parks, Senior Center Month Proclamation, and we are delighted to have Myra Bumgarner to bring that proclamation to us.
Got a tall one here. If I could steal just 1 second. You know, it's such an exciting time for Active Living in Parks. We all know what a fabulous team Ms. Londa's put together, and their vision and dedication, I just think it's second to none. But without your hard work and your support, we wouldn't be making all these things happen. So heartfelt thanks. Senior Center Month 2023, the theme this year is Discover Yours. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and strengthen our community. And whereas the Active Living in Parks Department has acted as a catalyst for mobilizing the creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of Cabarrus County. And whereas through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, senior centers empower older citizens of Cabarrus County to contribute to their own health and well-being and the health and well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. And whereas during the pandemic, the Active Living in Parks Department has been a community partner in ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens, people aged 65 and older, many with underlying medical conditions, are cared for and able to stay connected, safe, and healthy. And whereas the 2 senior centers in Cabarrus County affirm the dignity, self-worth, and independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experience, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. Now, therefore, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim September 2023 National Senior Center Month, and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and the special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older citizens of our community. Lots of great things planned for the month of September, so there's no reason to be bored. I pushed that indoor baseball at Mount Pleasant at the groundbreaking, so if you need a health and wellness boost, I got a team going, so if you need me to put you on my roster, I'll gladly do that. But there's a hoot and holler hoedown, there is a line dance-a-thon, and all kinds of activities. So check us out and encourage the community to do the same. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Myra. And just when you had taught me to say active living centers, now you bring a proclamation that says senior centers. Sorry. But we'll do both. Okay, commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do I hear a motion that we adopt it as read? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And next up, from Department of Human Services, Child Support Awareness Month proclamation. And we're happy to have Susan Dillon with us to present that tonight.
Good evening. I'm going to let Jay go first.
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, thank you all for letting us come before you. What you know is a very valuable resource of Cabarrus County, and y'all take responsibility for everything you do. I want to tell you what it does is a tremendous asset to the county that a lot of people don't know. It is a program that was established by the federal government to help assist in what is in the best interest of the children in regards to financially securing help for those children. And that in North Carolina, it's called the North Carolina Child Support Services. Now, the Child Support Services here in Cabarrus County is broken down into three groups for the most part. You have establishment, you have enforcement, and then you have modifications. What you may not know is that in establishment, we have 2.5 workers that establish child support. We have in enforcement approximately 8.5 workers, and in modifications we have 1. Now, the average caseload for establishment is 200, so each person carries about 200 cases. So in establishment, you're looking at about 500 to 750 cases total, going on at any point in time. In enforcement, you have about 440 cases. And that is active cases where someone is, we're trying to make certain that child support is being collected. And then in modification, that number varies because of the need. Typically, that person's carrying about 100 per person for that asked matter. Now, with that, what you need to understand, or what you realize, is that Cabarrus County is the only county in this region, the only county, to meet all the self-assessment and incentive goals. We're one of 10 counties in the state to meet them as well. We collect support on approximately 75% of all the cases that have an order in Cabarrus County, and statewide, to give you a comparison, that average is 67%. We have collected over 100% of the goal for total collections, and total collections is something that's set by the state, not by us locally. And then, just for y'all to be aware, fiscal year 2022 to 2023, Cabarrus County Child Support has collected over $12 million that is going on to the behalf of the minor children of Cabarrus County. So what y'all realize is just a microcosm of what y'all are doing, the great things y'all are doing for the county. And what you have in here today, we have Ms. Flo, who does a tremendous job. She started out as an establishment, moved over to enforcement. We have another young lady, Sandy, who is also doing establishment. We have Paula Gilliland, who is a supervisor. And I'm certain I missed somebody, Joanne Tomlin, Christine Battle. Tremendous job. And what you see is what is getting very good bang for your bucks is what's going on. So I want to turn it over to Susan.
Thank you, Jay. We appreciate everything you do for us as well. I'm going to ask Sandy Blakey to come up. She's, as Jay mentioned, she's a child support establishment agent, and she's going to read the proclamation for us. After that, we do have a short video that we're going to show that kind of highlights the staff and what they do day to day.
Child Support Awareness Month in Cabarrus County, a proclamation. Whereas children are entitled to financial support from their parents, and Cabarrus County continues to improve its efforts with child support collections, and whereas in fiscal year 2023, over $12.3 million in child support was collected from parents of children whose cases are managed by Cabarrus County Child Support Services, and whereas there are nearly 5,300 active child support cases in Cabarrus County, working to ensure that approximately 5,200 children receive financial support from their parents, and whereas children who do not receive adequate financial and emotional support from both parents may experience greater difficulty in becoming healthy, happy, and productive citizens. And whereas many concerned and dedicated judges, district attorneys, clerks of court, sheriff's personnel, and child support professionals work to establish and enforce child support orders for Cabarrus County's children, one of our state's most vital resources. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of August as Child Support Awareness Month in Cabarrus County.
Thank you.
My name is Michelle Stapula.
My name is Lisa Fans.
I am Mandy Endicott. My name is Kelly Bataya. So we have a great group of people who have a lot of knowledge in different areas of child support.
I think the most rewarding part of the job is just knowing that you're taking a stressful time for people and making it a little bit easier. Court can be very intimidating, and I think that, us coming in as a neutral party and being willing to, guide both the plaintiff and the defendant through the process of getting that child support set up based on the North Carolina guidelines.
I enjoy helping the public through their circumstances and to try to get that done in a timely manner.
We're here to work for both the plaintiff and the defendant. We're here to work for everybody in this family as a whole.
Getting a case that is performing poorly or delinquent and getting money coming through again and providing this income for the family, for the child. It's very fulfilling.
All the individuals on our team, they really take pride in their work. They go above and beyond. And I think they all have the same idea as me that, we're not trying to single anybody out. We are just trying to take the family's information and their current circumstance, apply it to the guidelines that are set by the state, and be fair to everyone.
Individually, we're all very different, but we all have kind of the same like-mindedness of, we do this because we want to help these families. We're good about bouncing ideas off of each other, picking up slack when somebody needs it. We just work really well as a team together.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do I hear a motion that we adopt it as presented?
Motion approved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we thank you for the hard work that you do and for that presentation and that video, and I think they deserve a round of applause. Okay, next up is recognition of our Cabarrus County Career and Leadership Institute. The Career and Leadership Institute is a program that was instituted last year. This is our second year of this program. We had all the young people that you see pictured above that were involved during the summer months. This program was actually the brainchild of former Commissioner Diane Honeycutt, and she continues to be involved as a volunteer helping put together this program. They began the summer. We had representatives from every high school in Cabarrus County. They began the summer with a workshop that we held that was a team building exercise. was the first time that this group was ever together. We followed that up with a social night at a Cannonballers baseball game in Kannapolis. And so one of the most refreshing things for me to observe in this program throughout the summers, we had a group of young people that started out, most of them didn't know one another, and by the end of the program, the interaction between them was tremendous. So they really bonded and worked together well. Throughout the summer, we had a day in the city of Kannapolis where we went to the Advanced Technology Center at Rowan Cabarrus Community College, a number of other locations, looked at the redevelopment efforts in downtown Kannapolis. We had a Cabarrus County Day where they came here to the Governmental Center and worked on budget exercises and had presentations from staff. Then we, I think, and kudos to the Sheriff's Department, I think that was one of the days that they enjoyed the most. They got to see the operation of the Sheriff's Office. They got to see the drones and the canines and a lot of other things. We had a day with the City of Concord where they went out and saw the various operations of the city and saw career opportunities that were available there. I wish I had the list in front of me to read all the companies that participated, and I don't, but just to pick a few of them, they went to Charlotte Motor Speedway, toured their operations there. They went to Concord Pageant Airport, and saw the operations there. They visited Pass and Seymour LeGrand. They went to the North Carolina Research Campus. West Rock Coffee Company hosted them for an afternoon. And so and there were quite a few others. But the intent of this program was to give our high school students here in Cabarrus County information and exposure to career opportunities that they could enjoy right here in their home county. And there are a lot of them. And so it was a very, very rewarding experience, hopefully for them. It certainly was for me and the others that were along for the ride on that experience this summer. One of the things that we got a lot of feedback from the companies that we went to, and Hendricks Motorsport was another one that we spent time at, but they would, they're used to having groups come in, and at the end of their presentation, they will say, does anybody have any questions? And there might be one or two people in a group of high school students that would ask a question. That's not the case with this group. Everybody in the room's hand goes up. And so they were very involved, very engaged, and we got a lot of really positive feedback from those companies about what an outstanding group of students that came there. So it was a really positive experience, and we have some of them with us tonight. But before we ask them to come up and introduce themselves, we have a short video that we put together about the program as well.
Let's give it a try. Give it a try. There's no consequence to it. Has anybody? Come on.
Hi, I'm Jada, and welcome to Cabarrus This Week.
We're here today at the Government Center in downtown Concord
as part of County Government Day, sponsored by the Cabarrus County Career and Leadership Institute.
Today we're exploring everything from strategic planning to department operations, emergency preparedness, public safety, and more.
During the 7-week career and leadership experience,
we'll also visit Atrium Health Cabarrus,
Ryan Cabarrus Community College, Concord City Government, Kannapolis City Government, and other local organizations.
Want to learn more? Let's get plugged in.
one of my best teachers that I've ever had. Mr. Fant, he recommended me for this leadership program, and my principal called me to the office. I thought I was getting in trouble. But he said, yeah, you've been chosen to get into this leadership program. So I accepted it.
My favorite activity, probably going to the hospitals, because that's something I'm really interested in. And it was really cool to actually see, instead of just seeing what the patient sees, seeing behind the scenes and what all the doctors and nurses and all the staff members do.
It got me seeing new places, learning about the government side, the EMT, medical, fire side.
The people who are talking to you, they have actually like really interesting stuff they want to say to you, and they are really passionate about their careers.
Ask the questions, because if you don't ask a question or if you don't go for it to learn about this, you'll not take away what they want you to, and you'll overall just kind of cheat yourself out of an experience.
Our community is built up of leadership and heart, and no matter where you fall in our community, it's important to have a want to and can do attitude.
Thank you so much.
Светляки и медузы, грибы и черви, рыбы и бактерии. Что общего может быть у...
And of course, as you can tell from that video, these folks that participated in this program were not shy or bashful at all. And thank you to our communications department for putting that video together. We had a graduation ceremony for them downstairs here in the Governmental Center, and we were able to play that. Commissioner Shue's going to come down and present a pin to any of the students that are here, and would ask if you would come to the podium and introduce yourself. Please.
Hi, I'm Priya White, and I am a junior, and I attend West Cabarrus High School. The program was a great program for me, and it's really good to live in your community and see more things that you don't usually see, and more job opportunities, because at a young age, sometimes you don't know what you want to do in life, but once you're exposed to it, it kind of opens your mind. So
Right.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
My name's Molly Bobrek. I go to Mount Pleasant High School, and I really enjoyed getting to learn about the county in a way that most people don't get to.
Great. Thank you.
My name is Jackson Riley. I'm a junior at Jan Robinson High School, and I really enjoyed the program because I was able to see things that I can do in the future and learn about careers I can do in the future, and got to meet a lot of cool people.
Great. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Capelli. I go to Northwest Cabarrus High School. I'm a junior, and one thing that I really enjoyed about this program was getting to interact with various adults with various careers. One particular experience I enjoyed was talking to the firefighters at the Hartselle Recreational Center. It was a very eye-opening experience for me, and I got to learn about some of the programs they have over the summer. So I will definitely check that out next summer.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kirsten Burden. I'm a junior at A.L. Brown High School, and one of the things I enjoyed most was how we went to RCCC before we explored Cabarrus County, because it gave me a chance to see how like things like community college education, which we don't really discuss much in school, can be applied to various jobs and positions around Cabarrus County that I think I would really be interested in checking out.
Great, thank you.
Hello, I'm Lathan Lopez, and I'm a junior at Central Cabarrus High School. I really enjoyed the program, and I like that I could explore Cabarrus County and see all the hidden opportunities that were in every establishment that we visited. All these buildings you see out here all have opportunities for you that are like, even if you don't, even if it doesn't come to mind, there's a lot of stuff you can explore. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Well, we want to thank all the students. As if you listen to the comments as they were talking, particularly the last one, we also spent time at the Cabarrus Convention and Visitors Bureau, and he picked right up and said on their slogan, "Explore Cabarrus." And that's what we did, so that should make them proud. But thank you all for participating, and we are very excited and looking forward to conducting this program again next year. Okay, we move now to informal public comments. I have several cards here. As you all know, each person that comes to the microphone has 3 minutes to speak. We have a timer here. When the timer goes off, if you'll finish the sentence you're in and step away from the microphone. And our first card is from Diane Anderson.
Good evening, Diane Anderson. Hi, I'm up here to speak tonight because our county manager locked his doors on me. And I'm not the only one he's locked his doors on when I come to him about an issue or a problem. He's locked the doors on a veteran who desperately needs answers regarding his family. And just a terrible thing to lock your doors, because when you lock your doors, basically you're shutting your ears, you're not listening, you don't want to hear anything. And that's not no kind of leadership. We'll just call it ship and leave the leader out of it. So we got ship in Cabarrus, and we would like some leadership in Cabarrus. But anyway, I just like, I got a few questions, and they need to be answered about my sister. She's a federal helpless child, and this DSS department knew she was a helpless child. She goes and gets Invega shots for schizophrenia, and if you know anything about, does anybody take Invega? That's a schizophrenia drug. Gotta have that. And his department knew about it, but somebody in his department, burnt out department, called her a competent adult. And I think it's Mike Downs who called her a competent adult, because he wrote me a letter, signed his name to it, and everything. And it really caused problems. My sister died from it, and the love of our life, our child that was in my custody, got taken away. Jada Sue Anderson, she got taken away. I don't even know why. No answer, never seen her again. What child abuse I ever seen was just taking a child and never letting her see her family again. So, never got to see her again. Don't know how she's doing. And I come to him and tell him about this, and locks his doors. Now, if he can take a child without anything, who's in charge of it? Who's the overseer? Because I'm pretty sure he can go out here in the middle of the street and shoot someone dead, get away with it. That's what Mike Downs can do. He can go out here and shoot somebody and probably get away with it. He contracted Jay White out to hurt my sister. Maybe if you told Mr. White she was not a competent adult, your department should have knew this, man. Where's our child at? You're still sitting up here. You didn't exit. You must have done good on your budgeting, but you didn't do good in your DSS department. You did good on your buildings. Man, I love you. I love you, Mike Downs. I gotta love you for what you did to my family. I have no choice. So I want you to get a special counsel to investigate why this helpless child was neglected, abused, exploited. And I'm telling you, if he says it's a legal issue, that's a lie. Because if it was a legal issue, I'd done handled it. So I don't know what kind of legal issue he thinks it is, but he's not thinking right.
Okay, our next card is from Jerry Anderson.
Hey, Jerry Anderson. I'm dissatisfied with the DSS system too. And all these cases I hear about, child support, why are these kids, parents can't raise their kids here in Cabarrus County, all this child support? What is going on? Give us a chance to raise our kids. Stay off our nuts. Give us a chance to raise our kids. My Lord. My daughter I went to DSS and I asked, will you help me? And they said yes, with my daughter. Leave my child alone, my grandchild alone. She's great. Anybody that thinks a helpless child can raise a daughter, when the VA is giving me money, and she is my dependent, because I am getting VA money, and she is my dependent till she died because of what DSS neglected her. She was mine, and her grandchild would be my dependent too. I had to make sure that they had everything they needed. Anyway, I asked if DSS could help me because my daughter needed her shots when she got down here to establish it and to help her in general. I didn't want her to be, put out there and exploited. Golly, she got exploited at the DSS, and her child got taken on a Saturday night. Them people knew that she was a helpless child. The first investigation, Jennifer, she treated me and come to me and talked to me. I didn't report Jada the second time. I went up there to ask help for my daughter again because she wasn't getting the help she needed. And they started another one and kept me out of it. Never told me a thing. Treated her like she was the most competent thing, and they knew that was her problem. She was a helpless child. They come on Saturday night, got some judge to take my child on Saturday night. That kid been in school every day, Jackson Park. I love my angel. When that girl come on up there and said, Jada, I had to look. Because that could have been my black child. My Jada. I look at things and say, is that my child? That was my angel. And I loved her to death. And all I wanted was help for my child. My child that had a mental problem. So bad, they paid me. The VA paid me money for help for her. Up to this day till she died. How you get rid of a helpless child diagnosis? If you didn't have a diagnosis, cancer diagnosis, you wouldn't get the treatment. But you're awful. This county did me wrong. I bought a house here.
Okay, our next card is from Richard Wise.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Rich Wise. I'm a citizen taxpayer of Cabarrus County and Midland Town Council. Well, I watched last workshop that you had, and I felt honored. I was 20 minutes honored in that workshop. So it was clear that two of you were willing to shut down the Cabarrus Library branch and for personal reasons. One of you even said you'd blame it on the town. I think that's kind of abuse of power. The person I'm talking about, the two people I'm talking about, know who they are. I'm not going to use any names. Using your official position to punish someone you don't like is clear and abuse power. I get it. You hate me when I stand up here and tell everyone what's really going on behind the scenes. I understand. You hate it because you want control of what people hear. You want control of what people think about you. Some people are insecure. In fact, you attempted to silence me several times. You've done this by putting pressure on people I know that are very close to me. That's really wrong. You're kind of violating my First Amendment rights, I think. To me, it's an abuse of power. You don't have the legal authority to bully me into silence. This is America. State law gives me the right to stand here and speak. The First Amendment gives me freedom of speech and the right to make a complaint to the county government without fear of punishment. So don't violate my rights anymore. I beg you. If I come up here, I won't use your names like you've asked. I will be generic. Just don't violate my rights. 20 minutes at the workshop talking about me. Man, that's great. So one other thing, transparency. It was stated at the workshop, we don't lease buildings. But you have a building that you lease for $1 million a year, don't you? All the library, all the town of Midland asking is to lease the building down there for $50,000 a year. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Josh Norris.
Good evening. Everybody get your clutching pearls. We're going to talk about Midland. I'm going to talk about Richard Wise, henceforth known as the Wise Man. Now, somebody needs to explain to me how a town council cannot come up with $50,000. And somebody also needs to explain to me why it is incumbent on the county to step in to make up for these mistakes and this dereliction of duty. Not a month ago, 2 months ago, we had people from Cabarrus County in here asking for rent relief, do we not? And now, I am willing to bet there's a constituency in Midland that is against that very same rent relief. And however, now they want that very same rent relief. Ladies and gentlemen, government hypocrisy stands firm in Cabarrus County when a township does things like that because they want the tax money to bail out the government for their shortcomings where they will not help out the citizen. And me personally, I think the citizen should come first, especially when that library is in the same building as the town hall. And if the town hall can magically find money to pay their rent, then how can the library not? Well, that makes sense. And if they can't, why don't you shut down your town hall because you're not doing anything in there? How hard is this? You got to put two and two together sometimes. And Mr. Furr, I do enjoy you. I love you to death. But at the workshop, you did mention that only after 23 years, Midland is still trying to figure things out. Well, I remember a certain war that I had to go to, the War on Terror, and that only lasted 20 years. And I do believe that we all saw that end in a catastrophe, because after that 20 years, the government just couldn't figure out what they wanted to do. Did it not? And here we are, 23 years, and a town government cannot seem to figure out what they want to do, and in real time, we are seeing another catastrophe. And another thing, Mr. Wise and Mr. Stephen, if you just want to come out to my property, we can sign waivers. Y'all can trade fists in the front yard. We can sell some tickets, raise some money. The Wayside can come sell some corn nuggets. Those things are delicious. They don't come out of the ground crunchy, but I don't know what y'all do. You make them so good, I'd buy 3 packs. Whew. Now, if we aren't going to go down that route, y'all need to get in a room and figure it out. Opening these investigations, all these FOIA requests, left and right, spending money, spending all of the tax money from the state just to bully the county. How is it my county's fault that the town of Midland can't seem to budget? I have to budget, right? And one last thing, Sherry Berry, them grandbabies done had you long enough. You need to come back home, baby. Daddy's tired of taking the stairs.
Okay, our next card is from May Mack.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is May Mack, and I'm a resident of Cabarrus County. You're being passed around the Cabarrus Board of County Commissioners procedures for appointments to boards, committees, and commissioners. I am here to request further details on this board's failure to abide by your own policy. In my review, I have found that almost 50% of the currently appointed local governing board members are not in compliance with this policy, specifically the sections on term limits, residency, and multiple board appointments. In section A2 of this policy, it reads, and I quote, "Except in extraordinary circumstances, it shall be the policy of this board that regular members shall not serve more than 6 consecutive years. With 3-year terms, an individual would normally serve a maximum of 2 terms." End quote. Yet of the 2 boards that are on the consent agenda today, the Mental Health Advisory Board and the Planning and Zoning Commission, a majority of these members currently serving both are in violation of this policy. 2 of the members being proposed to be reappointed are in violation of this policy. Further, section A3 of this policy reads, and I quote, "Except in extraordinary circumstances, it shall be the board of this policy that appointees shall be, at the time of appointment, and remain so during the time of any appointment, a resident of Cabarrus County." Yet, the individual being proposed to fill the vacancy for an at-large member on the Mental Health Advisory Board will necessitate, in the language found in the consent agenda, exceptions to the residency and multiple board policies. In other words, the individual being considered to be an at-large member is not a resident of Cabarrus County. They also are on another board already. This particularly piqued my interest as I applied for this particular board position several months back. Yet, I received no contact about this vacancy, no interview, and seemingly no consideration, although my credentials would certainly make me qualified. To recap, I have found that almost 50% of currently appointed board members on Cabarrus County boards, committees, are in violation of the policy regarding procedures for appointments. There are boards with members that have been consecutively serving since 2005. This is leading to a gridlock on boards with little opportunity for other qualified community members to have this important opportunity to engage in local government. This halts the ability for talented community members to contribute, for new perspectives and ideas to be considered, and results in the concentration of power within a small group of people. My short-term request is that these items are pulled from the consent agenda for today and discussed in further detail. Longer term, I hope to see the board begin abiding by policy to ensure that qualified community members have equal access to these invaluable roles in Cabarrus County. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Mark Ortiz.
Good evening. After hearing May and learning of her research about government that appears to be by insiders, something just keeps going through my head. And because of that, and because I have a sadistic streak, I'm going to share it with you. My uncle died a month ago and he left it all to me. 2 acres of old strip mine ground in the hills of Tennessee. Now the soil's all gone and the grass won't grow on my stripped out piece of land. So I think I'll get me a government loan and build me a hot dog stand. I'll hire a developer and we'll draw a set of plans. We'll wheel and deal with the zoning board till they play into our hands. We'll build it out of cinder blocks with a great big neon sign and pave the rest for a parking lot right up to the property line. Now the mayor is a good old boy and a cousin of mine too. So I got me such a government loan that I didn't know what to do. So I built me the finest hot dog stand in the state of Tennessee, with 14 floors of offices and a penthouse just for me. Those offices rented in no time flat to the mayor's favorite crew, to the police chief and the poodle trimmer and the perfume salesman too, to the VFW and the IRS, which takes my IOU, and the Bureau of Narcotics and the revenuers too. Now my neighbor likes to farm his land and he works the clock around, but me and the mayor and the zoning board know what's best for this town. I'll have him zone commercial and his taxes will go out of hand. He'll have to sell and I'll buy him out and build another hot dog stand. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Isaac Davis.
Good evening. My name is Isaac Davis. I'm a resident of the Cabarrus County. Just a continuation of what May stated earlier regarding the policies of the Cabarrus County Board of Commission. I'm reading Section E, the implementation, and it reads as follows. This policy shall become effective upon enactment. All subsequent appointment to board by the Board of Commission shall be carried out under the provisions of this policy. Any individual affected by the dual role provision of this policy shall be given the option of determining which appointment is to retain and any other appointment held by that individual to board, commission, or committees shall be deemed null and void unless waived by the Board of Commission under the special circumstances clause of the policy. Persons who have served on board, commissions, and committees for a period exceeding 6 consecutive years at the time of the policy become effective shall serve until the end of the current term for a period of 12 months from the date policy of, if the term extends longer than 12 months. In order to get more participation and involvement from the county residents, the county should advise in a local paper for at least twice each year of the upcoming vacancy. Any application that is received concerning the vacancy shall be given careful consideration, assuming they are qualified. So all we're asking is just you guys just consider everyone that apply, and if they're qualified, give them a call, talk to them, and find out, take it from there. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Roland Jordan.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, lawyer, county manager. Thank God for you and Ms. Stafford, forget his name right, in the committee. I greet you in Jesus' name as always. Got a little headache going on here, but I'm gonna get what I want across. First thing I want to mention, keep Logan community in prayer. We lost 3 of our young people, praise God. And another thing I want to, I'm asking you, if y'all have anything with the taxes with Barbara Scotia, I'm asking for forgiving. We got enough revenue, money, that you can't forgive. Just a little bit just to say this. I didn't want to go to no white school, but I thank God I did. I got to fellowship with them because I didn't like white people that good, the way they treat my people. But God commanded me to love. That's the only reason I do it, because he commanded me to love. Black people the same way. That's me. I ain't gonna talk behind your back, talking in front of your face. That's me, okay? And another thing, actually, how many years we've been trying to get a band for Dr. King? We was at local school, we would have one because we had a band. But we're asking y'all, let your people come out and help us in the community celebrate Dr. King. Not only that, for our veteran. We're asking for the band for our veteran. And I pray to God that you do what's right. But guess what? When you don't do what's right, I'm prophet. My Lord will take care of you in a nice way. God bless you. Have a smile on and give you peace.
Okay, that concludes all of our cards for informal public comments. We move now to the consent agenda. We have 12 items there, all of which were discussed in detail at our work session 2 weeks ago. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the consent agenda as it is presented. However, I don't know really the right way to do it. You know, in light of the communication that we've had from a group of people talking about our boards and committee appointments, maybe we could have someone explain to these folks here tonight how that takes place. I mean, it's just something. We don't, just want you to know, we as commissioners do not interview these people. They are brought to us and presented and recommended to us. But if that is in order, Mr. Chairman, I'll leave it up with you. But I'll move that we accept it as it is, though.
Okay, we can have that discussion in our general comments if you'd like, or we can do it now, whatever is the pleasure of the board. You know, I'm certainly happy to address some of the things that we've heard tonight, and of course the position that was referred to on our mental health advisory board, as is the case on many of our boards, have very specific connections, or qualifications to be filled. I don't have the paperwork on that one in front of me right now, but we have on our mental health advisory board, we have specific slots for representatives from municipalities. We have slots for representatives from the judicial system. We have representatives from our school systems. I think pretty much exclusively every position on that board from the Health Alliance, a number fall within those categories. The appointment that we have on our consent agenda to approve tonight is for one of our court counselors who is taking the slot that's being vacated, excuse me, by another court counselor that's been transferred out of Cabarrus County. This individual does not live in Cabarrus County, but she works in Cabarrus County in our court system on a daily basis. So that's the reason for that appointment. It was mentioned that she also serves on another board. She also replaced the same individual on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, which is another one of our boards that are very specific. One representative from the school system, one representative from this municipality, one representative from law enforcement. So most of those positions have qualifications that go along with them. Of course, it is at the pleasure of this board at any time if they want to approve an exception to the residency provision. We've had a number of staff members that work for Cabarrus County, but may live just across the line in Stanley County, Mecklenburg, Rowan, somewhere close by, that quite a few times that we've made an exception to that provision to have that staff representation on some of these committees. So there are, I mean, we have a great many committees that have vacancies on them currently. I think Juvenile Crime Prevention Council was one that was mentioned, and they typically have 2 or 3 vacancies that have those specific provisions attached to them. I think we have one position on our mental health advisory board now that also has one of those provisions. Typically our nursing home advisory committee, there's a second one. We frequently have as many as 10 or 11 vacancies on those committees. We advertise those in our agenda for these meetings. I certainly personally try to frequently mention those vacancies and encourage citizens to sign up for them. So that's just kind of a high-level view of the rules as to how we do that. I'm sure that for the most part, I would say the majority of folks that apply for these committees are welcomed onto them and accommodated whenever possible. We do, as you mentioned, Commissioner Shue, depend very heavily on those committees to bring back recommendations to us. Unfortunately, there are occasionally situations where folks sign up to serve on these committees, and then we may get feedback from them that after 6 months, maybe they have failed to attend a meeting. So sometimes, life happens. People may get appointed to a position and then find that their schedule prohibits them from participating as frequently as they would like to, and so then we solicit additional nominees, and those positions are filled. And perhaps the clerk can help me out. When someone applies for a committee, how long does that application stay on file? 2 years? That's what I thought. If somebody has a particular interest in a committee, they've submitted an application and want some explanation as to why they may not have heard back, it's just as simple as picking up the phone, calling the clerk's office. You can look on our website. I think all of the commissioners' phone numbers and email addresses are included there as well. And so the more people that we can get involved participating on these committees, the better it is. We have some folks that many times when we have an exception to the length of service, it might be one of those situations where we may have somebody with a great deal of experience and expertise, perhaps in planning and zoning, that may have fulfilled that slot on that board for a number of years. If we do not have a ready pool of applicants to take their place, then quite frequently we're very honored that they're willing to continue to serve and provide that expertise and that experience that they've gained working in those departments. So does that kind of give you what you were shooting for there?
I think so, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate it. And, it's pretty much a normal routine for the general meetings, this particular meeting that we're having tonight, that we, obviously it's televised, and we advertise that there's vacancies on boards. And, you can't make people apply. And of course, we're not the ones doing the interviewing. And so if you have applied or have interest and you still have interest, then just like the chairman said, check with the board clerk and find out the status of your application, and then she can funnel that through to the particular committee or position that you're interested in. But there's a procedure, and, but like I say, the only thing we basically do is say yay or nay on the recommendations from those committees. So anyway, the motion's on the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Great. I think we do have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We do not have any items of new business tonight, so we will move now to reports. And at this time, we'll receive updates from commission members who serve as liaisons to municipalities or various other boards and or committees. Commissioner Portman.
I was given some updates from Londa for Active Living. The Frank Lisk Park barn ribbon cutting is August 29th at 5:30. Also at the park, the main office and the mini golf are being demolished to start the new project. It'll have a new office, new concession, and ADA compliant mini golf. Looks like it's going to be about a 12-month project. The bridge on Stow Road is being rebuilt and will be closed beginning today. That is a 3-month project. So if you're planning on attending the ribbon cutting at the barn, make sure to plan accordingly as to which way you're going to get into that. Paddle boats will remain open on the weekends. And as a reminder, the Camp Spencer Park, the swimming pool at Camp Spencer is closed for the remainder of the season for maintenance. They do have cabins and tent sites that remain open. And they also do have one position for the Northwest area for the Active Living and Parks Commission that is open if anybody that lives in that area would like to apply.
Thank you. Okay, other reports?
Just real briefly, on the Water and Sewer Authority of Cabarrus County, as you mentioned last month, North Carolina give us a reduced flow rate, and so that increased our allocations to the municipalities. And the progress on the water and sewer plants moving right along, and that place is absolutely huge. I wish I had pictures to show you, and you would see how far it's come. And from where it was, I mean, people look like little ants crawling around on some of them big holes out there. It's humongous, but it's going to serve the people of Cabarrus County very well. And with that new allocation, it's going to open up for municipalities to start approving some of the subdivisions that's been pending because of the lack of allocation for sewer services. But it's coming right along really nice.
Great, thank you. Any other reports? Okay, if there are none, then I will open it up for general comments by board members. Yes, sir.
I'd like to publicly thank the commissioners for this easy transition from my appointment. You guys have went out of the way to answer any questions, and the staff is outstanding. And I just want to publicly thank all of you.
Thank you for those comments, and I should have recognized that at the beginning of our meeting. Our last work session was Commissioner Furr's first meeting, so it kind of seems like an old hat to me now. I'm glad you fit in so well. And of course, Commissioner Wortman mentioned earlier, we are really excited about the opening of the barn at Franklin Park. And hope that as many people as possible will come out and enjoy it. I think they're making that a festive event with some food trucks and vendors and other things. All of us were extremely sad when an arsonist took that facility away from us. But I think you're going to be extremely pleased with the new facility that's been built there. That will serve our county for many years, so we're really excited about that. Appreciate all the folks that came out for the groundbreaking, for the library, senior center, active living center at Mount Pleasant that we had a couple weeks ago. We had a great crowd out there, and we're really excited to get that project off the ground, and more to come in the near future. So any other comments? If not, we do have need for a closed session tonight. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session as authorized by North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A 1 and 3 to discuss confidential information and pending litigation. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. We are now in closed session, and we thank all of you for joining us tonight.